Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Our title sponsor is Able Auctions. A special hello.
Yep.
Some kind words into the Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox. Special hello to Rick in the Rock. All the best of the season. Scott Burnside works for Daily Faceoff, hockey writer, longtime hockey writer, well-respected. He's written a column on the disappointment of the National Hockey League not going to the Beijing Olympics. It's a great read, and Scott joins us now. Scott, thanks for doing this. How are you?
I've got no complaints, all things being equal, and thanks for having me aboard. Top of the season to both of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Scott. What emotions are you experiencing regarding the NHL's decision not to go to the Olympics?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be in Beijing, so it's not totally selfish on my part. But I think there's a feeling of just in general sadness at an opportunity missed. And you go back to 2018 and the fact the NHL opted not to send players, and for some reason the NHLPA didn't enshrine it in that CBA. So that was a missed opportunity. And now 4 years later, through no fault of the leagues or the players, fans around the world and players at the top of their games at the NHL level are going to be denied the opportunity to compete in what I think might have been one of the greatest tournaments in hockey history. It was all set up that way, an NHL-sized arena in Beijing. Some of the great young stars of the game with an opportunity to play in their first true best-on-best tournament, whether it was Austin Matthews or Elias Pettersson or Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, will go down the list. And really an opportunity for some of the greatest players of this generation to probably participate in their last Olympic Games. And, never count Sidney Crosby or Alex Ovechkin or Patrick Kane out, but realistically, this is likely the last time we would have seen them in this kind of competition. And now that opportunity is gone. And I think it's a time to really take stock of, how important international competition is and how important it is for fans and players to have the opportunity to see true best on best hockey when you can do it. And sadly, we're not going to see that in 2022.
I think I've got this right after reading your column, Scott. Is your disappointment rooted in the experience you had at the 2010 Olympics here in Vancouver?
Well, certainly I'm lucky. I've covered 3 Olympics, 2006, 10, and 14, and each of them was memorable and in some ways inspiring on a number of different levels, each one a little bit different. But certainly that experience in Vancouver and at the time I was working at ESPN and working alongside my colleague and good pal Pierre Lebrun and our experiences there and really a tournament, I think a tournament for the ages. And as I point out, it's not just the gold medal game, although that was obviously the crowning piece of what was an incredible tournament. But I think about the level of hockey at that tournament, the drama on an almost nightly basis, and then of course, building to that overtime gold medal game with Sidney Crosby scoring the golden goal. And the way that not just the Canadians responded, although they responded as you would expect that they would have, celebrating in the streets from coast to coast. But I think hockey fans around the world really sort of embraced what was unfolding in Vancouver. And I think that's, again, I'm lucky. I've had a front row seat to 3 Olympic games, 3 Olympic gold medal games, all those things. So to confront the immediate future without that kind of opportunity, without that kind of event, and then really to wonder what comes next. I mean, how do you fill that void? And it's not an easy void to fill. And if you have to wait 4 years, and who knows what happens 4 years from now, it just seems like a real opportunity lost.
Scott, can you talk a little bit right now about the NHL and COVID, what's going on? How do you see us getting out of it? Is this going to be a yearly thing? How do you move forward?
It's a great question, and obviously it's what the league and the NHLPA are wrestling with as we're chatting here today. And it's the reason that you make the kind of hard decision that the league and the players made in officially bowing out of the Beijing Games. And I'm really fascinated to see how the NHL responds to what is now a 3-week unexpected opportunity on their schedule to fill some of the holes and to try and not correct what has gone on with the postponements, but in redoing a schedule that is fair to the teams that have had COVID outbreaks, that is fair to maybe some of the Canadian teams where we're seeing now, like in Montreal, for instance, where they didn't have fans at their last game, or fans in some of the other Canadian markets where maybe they were only allowed to have 50% capacity moving forward. Can the NHL somehow manipulate and massage the schedule using this now unexpected 3-week gap in February to maybe make it work for all teams? I think of Steve Hatzi-Petros, who's the head of the scheduling for the NHL, and boy, I hope he's got a big Christmas bonus coming for him. But there is an opportunity, I think, to maybe catapult us into a better situation as we head down the stretch. I mean, we're looking at, whatever the number is now, and are we at 120 or 130 or whatever the number of players who are in COVID protocols? When you factor in the players and coaches and staff who've already tested positive and come out of it, are we maybe getting to a point where we're approaching herd immunity, where maybe that stretch run, maybe the COVID narrative, it's never going to go away, I don't think, and who knows when it goes away completely. But maybe for the balance of this season, it becomes less of an impactful element to the game. And maybe as this season moves along after the Olympic break, we find something approaching normalcy for the rest of the season. Maybe that's just ultimate blue skying, but it is going to be fascinating to see how the rescheduling of this season, and that's really what we're looking at, takes place, and whether we can actually get the 82 games for all 32 teams in, and then the 4 rounds of playoffs as expected, and which is critical for the financial health of this league.
Scott, thanks so much for this good-looking tree in the
Very
background
nice.
there.
Very nice.
Really appreciate this. And very quickly, you just confirmed something we were wondering about. I think you did. But NHL-sized arena in Beijing. Have I got that right?
That's correct. Yes, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been true NHL style. So
yeah, Scott, thanks so much. All the best. Great read.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anytime.